Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the story. A week ago this past Friday, I received a letter addressed to the chairman of the board. Kids are important. This letter came from a valued supporter and advocate of our nonprofit organization, informing me that something had gone critically wrong, and she was very, very upset. As many of you know, our goal at Kids Are Important is to collect and distribute gifts and necessities for foster care children in our community. Unfortunately, in this instance, a gift of cash was given, earmarked for two well-deserving foster care children. But unfortunately, those funds were placed in a holding account, and those gifts were never purchased. The reason I know this is our board has commissioned and retained a local accounting firm that are digging into this. And on this spot audit, the audit trail leads to two of our senior staff members who have since been put on administrative leave as this internal investigation continues. As this situation continues to evolve, the plot thickens. Our executive director, John Q. Smith, has just tendered his letter of resignation and a full apology to our large group of loyal supporters who have hung with us all these years, who have a passion for what we do, and who have been offended by this situation, because this has occurred on his watch. In addition, the board has made contact with local law enforcement and asked for their assistance and to investigate if we have a criminal charge here. After the investigation, the police case file was forwarded to the county prosecutor's office, and their decision is they won't press charges. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a situation that should not have happened. And while it reeks of bad judgment, nothing criminal has taken place here. But I remind you, this is an evolving situation, and we don't know yet if this is an isolated incident or if this indicates a pattern of bad behavior. Effective immediately, I will assume the duties of Chief Executive Officer of this organization. Kids are important. And my first order of business will be to centralize the collection and distribution system as we now know it. My direct number is 501-777-7777. And my email address is all lowercase steve at kidsareimportant, all one word, no break, .org. And as I always have in the past, I will continue to maintain an open door policy. You can count on that. Please note this, members of the media. A search team from our board has already begun the task of finding a new executive director. And we'll keep you apprised as this progresses. Now then, if there are any Bible scholars in the audience, I might want you to take a look back at 2 Kings chapter 12, beginning in verse 4. That's when King Joash discovered that certain monies had been collected for the purpose of repairing God's temple. But the temple never got repaired until King Joash stepped in and got things right. And that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to straighten things out, and we're going to make things right. In closing, speaking on behalf of the Board of Directors, we deeply regret that this situation ever happened. And we as a board are recommitting ourselves to the goal of serving the special needs of the foster care children in this community. You can count on it. Now at this time, I'll entertain a few questions from the media. But before I begin, please make a note of this. We'll have another media briefing in 2 days at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right here. And 2 days after that, and 2 days after that, and 2 days after that, until we resolve this situation. Who would like to be first? Yes, in the corner.
Yes, sir. I just have a question.
Identify yourself.
My name is Richard Patterson.
Okay, Mr. Patterson.
And I'm on a volunteer with this organization as well.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what is the actual extent of the damage that was done? And can you really assure us that the problem has been taken care of?
That's a good question and a fair question. As I mentioned to you, we have an audit group that's doing everything they can be done on this. We've gone through the third investigation. There is no criminal activity going on here. We've got two individuals that have taken too much responsibility on themselves. We haven't had an executive director maybe who took on too much autonomy. Those things are being addressed. We know from years past, because our slate is clean. We have no history of bad practices, and we're going to deal with this. Right now, we don't know because it is an evolving situation. We have one incident that's been recognized. We don't know the depth of this, but we're going to break this chain. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Someone else, please. Yes, this lady up front.
Yes, I'm Doris Matthews from the Christian Science Monitor.
Yes, Doris.
And I would like to know, has your organization, Kids Are Important, ever been faced with a situation like this in the past, such as this misappropriation of funds and, not particularly good accounting practices?
That's a fair question as well. And as I mentioned here, yes, a lot of things are going on. A lot of proper things are going on. We're tightening, we're buttoning things down. They may have been, if something has happened in the past, it looks like it's a little bit out of control, if you will, we're going to gain control. And I'm going to sit in this position until we have the right executive director in here that can take this organization by the reins under our supervision. And that supervision is going to be tighter than it's ever been. But in the 25-year history of this organization, this is the first time we've made news. And if you notice, I'm taking a proactive approach on this. I'm coming forward, and we're going to come clean on this. And we're going to make it right. Someone else? Yes, your name?
Craig O'Neill with KHV.
Sure. Yeah, I hear you on the air all the time.
I was wondering, what special controls have been put in place since this situation was discovered?
As I mentioned in my short briefing here, just being able to centralize the collection and the distribution system as it currently is, it's been too fragmented. We're digging into and we're finding that there's hanging chad out there, if you will, and we don't like that. It doesn't pass the smell test. From the accounting standpoint, it doesn't make good accounting. It's not good accounting practices. And we have enough members of the accounting profession on our board to where we're going to have another level of oversight. But yes, we're going to deal with that. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Is there someone else? How are we doing? I think we had to really watch the time on this. Yes, gentleman in the back, please.
John Park.
Yes, John.
Arkansas descent. I noticed you talked what I call surfacely, and you gave us assurances that you were going to fix your unique problem. And you indicated just a minute ago that you have people who have accounting background on your board. Now, you and I both know, or maybe I know, that it is the working people, the working people, not the upper level people, who will actually take care of this situation. Now, have there been any changes in the underlings who actually collect, who actually write the checks? Is there 2 names on everybody's check? Somebody mentioned a minute ago that you needed about the internal controls. Now, you and I both know that in order to make sufficient changes, in order to make sure that the people up here can have the assurances that those things that need to be changed from what I call the grunt level, the working level, have you made those changes, or are you still in the research phase or review phase to make those changes? Because you said something to the effect that y'all were working on it with an accounting team. Is there internal people involved, or changes have been made with the internal people who's going to handle that grunt work to make sure that this happens?
That's a fair question. I appreciate you bringing that up. We'll air that right now. This situation was only discovered a week ago Friday.
Okay.
We're up to our ears in this situation.
Okay.
We're finding out what we want to find out. and we'll make the proper changes. If it involves a mass redistribution of personnel and changeovers, we've already lost our executive director because he felt it was on his watch and he's assuming responsibility. We have a team that's out there right now recruiting a new executive director. Yes, we'll leave no stone unturned if that's what you want to hear. Okay, right. So people who have been doing things improperly, they need to be looking over their shoulder right now. And somebody better be watching their back. Because this team is on a mission, and we're going to make it right. Thank you very much for coming out. Again, remind you, we'll have another briefing in 2 days at 2 o'clock. Where?
Right here.
Right here. Thank you very much.